Ooh, I have been itching to talk about this. As a woman who was obese when she got pregnant, and she gained weight during her pregnancy, and when she gave birth, she was obese. I can totally relate to finding a doctor, being pregnant, giving birth. I've been itching to talk about Alexandra Rodriguez. Her BMI is BS, and her having to switch doctors because of a BMI cap at an OBGYN. We're gonna talk about this one. This girl a mess, y'all. Hi guys, welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you've been around here a while. I'm Kendra, this is Kendra Creates. This is my space where I talk about my life and other stuff around the interwebs. So if that stuff sounds good to you, then make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Also go ahead and like this video while you are at it. So I'm pretty sure you've already saw this video by Alexandra Rodriguez. If you're clicking on my video, if you're looking for a different opinion, it's maybe a different take, as someone who's been obese and pregnant before, and someone who has actually lost a large amount of weight and kind of does these videos about weight loss, health, all that stuff, then honey, you're in the right place. Sit down, let's take a seat, let's talk about it. So I don't really want to like incorporate clips of her video because she talks a lot and she kind of rambles, and I feel like it's just gonna add extra time onto my video, which doesn't need extra time because I don't really need to like explain every little minute detail that she's talking about. I just want to hit a couple of high points and talk a little bit about her situation. So if you don't know, basically Alexandra Rodriguez has been on the internet for a long time. She was very heavy into the body positivity movement, which is kind of weird because she had a lap band surgery as a teen to lose weight. And then she had a secret paniculectomy, which is a tummy tuck without muscle repair, that she lied about from her audience. And then she had gastric bypass surgery. She lost 100 pounds with it, but she is still overweight, obese, however you want to call it, whatever. And now she's pregnant, which congratulations to her because she's been wanting to get pregnant for a while now. And that has finally come to pass. And she basically talked about going to her OBGYN for her appointment, and her OBGYN telling her that their practice has a BMI cap. And she did not take that news very well at all, even when the practitioner gave the reasoning for that decision at their practice. And so basically the reasoning was because just in case you need anesthesia, we want to be able to provide you with a high level of care, which we will not be able to provide that because of a higher BMI. And she said that Alexandra Rodriguez would reach that BMI limit in about 10 pounds. So it's just kind of like, you probably need to find another practice to go to. She even gave her recommendations for people that would be able to see her and accommodate her in case she needed that in an emergency or whatever. And they didn't, mind her BMI was not an issue or whatever. But Alexandra Rodriguez did not like that news. And this is not new, right? Fat people don't like to be told that they're fat. They don't like it to be apparent that their fat may lead to health problems or have consequences of any type. And they don't want to be told no because of their weight, which I get. It's a very hard pill to swallow. Someone looking you in your face, telling you, hey, you're fat. And in your mind, you're like, duh. And you feel like you're being discriminated against. And in this case, it wasn't discrimination because she gave her reason, and it's a very appropriate reason. And I say that because anesthesia is serious and it's dangerous, and you may go to sleep and never wake up. It's very real. It has very real risks. And I saw it multiple times on the internet where people are complaining about, oh, I have to lose weight to get surgery because I need to bring my BMI down. I saw it. And I'm researching cosmetic surgery now. And like every cosmetic surgeon has BMI limits because of anesthesia and the risks. And I don't think that people take these things very seriously. Because if you do need anesthesia and your doctor is like, yeah, let me go ahead and perform this surgery on you, and then you don't wake up, like your family is going to be PO'd, you know? And it's like, oh, the doctor didn't, you know, take these risks into consideration, or they didn't see that their practice can't accommodate someone of this size. They didn't make recommendations for someone to go elsewhere. Then everyone's mad if something happens. And I feel like fat people in general are just leading a high level delusional life and mindset. And I've lived that life before too. I've been in delusion. I've been in denial. I've got angry about things. I've questioned, why does my weight even matter? Like, why is there a limit to this? Why is there a limit to that? Like, it shouldn't even matter, but it does. And I want to read some statements that she made during her video, and I might insert the clips if I'm feeling fancy about her saying these specific things. And it just goes into a greater depth of how people live in this Delululand. One of the statements she made was, health and weight are not synonymous. And I see this thrown around all the time on the internet. Like, you can be a healthy weight. You can live a healthy life. You can be healthy and still be overweight, obese, whatever. True, to some extent. And I say that because, yes, while you're young, you're probably not going to have any problems with your health. But the older you get, the more years on this earth, the more your body starts to age and wear down and break down. And we're seeing it a lot with the fat activists. A lot of them are like trying to live a healthier lifestyle or lose weight or go to the gym, or, you know, because they're having health problems, because they're getting older. And also, they always talk about like my healthy blood work or whatever. And she made that statement in the video about her healthy blood work. And yeah, your blood work can be healthy, but for how long, y'all? How long? And I don't think it clicks in people's heads that you're working against the clock. You're working against the time clock. And honestly, I'm not talking about people that may be 10, 15, 20 pounds overweight. The more extra weight you have on you, that is the greater risks you have. Which leads me to her talking about all the healthy plus size pregnancies that she's seen. I had a healthy plus size pregnancy. I also had a healthy plus size geriatric pregnancy. I got pregnant when I was 35. I gave birth at 35. I got pregnant when I was like 220, 230 or something. And I had got up, I think I was 230. I don't remember. But I had got up to about 250. And I was obese. And when I say textbook, I didn't have any gestational diabetes. I didn't have any high blood pressure. My blood pressure was like perfect. I think my doctor was like, oh, this is unusual. I literally had no problems. I delivered a healthy baby right on time. I did not have to have a C-section. I was one of those healthy plus size pregnancies. Do I recommend being my size and being pregnant and giving? No, I don't. If you can lose weight, go for it. I even brought it up with my doctor about my weight and my size. And she was like, yes, we see it all the time, a lady, being heavier during pregnancy and, childbirth and everything. And we want to try to control that as much as possible. She was like, with you being the size that you are, she was like, you don't necessarily have to gain any weight. And she was like, and if you do gain weight, I recommend not gaining more than 20 pounds. She was like, I even have some patients who are plus size that even lose weight because now they want to be healthy for their child. They want to exercise. They want to eat right. They want to do all these things, and they actually wind up losing weight during pregnancy, which is not something that she recommended. She said, like, I don't recommend that. But if it happens because you're changing your lifestyle for your baby, then she was like, it was just meant to happen. And so you have to just think about what's best for you, what's best for your baby. And you being heavier, honestly, is not, because that puts extra stress on you, extra stress on your body, extra stress on your baby. And yeah, a thin person may have all kinds of problems, and you being plus size have no problems. But it's just like, do you want to take extra risks when you don't have to? No, you don't, or at least I hope you wouldn't. And then she makes a statement about she's heavier because she's muscular. And oh my God, Alexandra Rodriguez lives in Delululand, which is fine. I get it. I've lived in delusional land before, and sometimes it takes a crazy thing to happen to you to get out of Delululand, in which I don't want anything crazy to happen to her or to anyone, or especially now that she's pregnant. No, I don't. Regarding her health and everything. But sometimes it takes that for people to wake up and to realize, like, you know what? This isn't working right. And you would think that someone who has been through 2 weight loss surgeries would eventually wake up, to what they're going through with their health and their life and things like that. And we all know that she's not heavier because she's muscular. We all know that. We all know that it's really hard for a woman to have a certain muscular physique. It's really hard for a woman to obtain a smaller body fat with a higher level of muscle mass. We know that. And usually women are taking performance enhancers to do those things, and they eat ridiculous, crazy diets to achieve those accomplishments. We know what Alexandra Rodriguez is eating, and it's not chicken, broccoli, and rice to maintain her size. And I did one previous video about her because she gets a lot of comments about the fact that she had gastric bypass and she's still like 300 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. And people were in my comments and they were saying that she's around maybe like 5'7", which is about my height. I'm actually 5'7" and 3/4, so I might as well just say I'm 5'8". So we're about the same height. And I can remember I was once that size. I was once nearly 300 pounds. After I had my baby, I gained weight. Yeah, I know, right? I had postpartum depression. I was eating. I just was in the house with my child. I didn't want to do anything. It was horrible. It was awful. I got back up to about 274. That's not my highest weight. My actual highest weight was 387. Yeah. So I know how it is to be really large and really heavy. And I know how it is to be obese and pregnant. I know how it is to be all of these things. I am coming from a place of experience and knowledge, and also empathy and compassion, because I can relate a lot to her, especially living in Delululand where she lives. I do want her to get out of that for not only herself, but also her child. I talked about it in, I'm not sure what video I talked about it in, but I talked about it in one of my videos about like how I was raised and also like how am I raising my child, and just all of the changes that I've made. I can pass a lot of those good habits on to my child, and I won't feel guilt for creating unhealthy habits around their eating and not being active and things like that. And I wouldn't want that for any child. I know people are like, oh, you're just being fat phobic in this fat phobic society and blah, 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 blah. But if you have good eating habits and you're active and you have good healthy habits that you're practicing, unless you have some underlying medical issue, you should be a normal weight. Like you really should be. Like I said, unless you have some underlying medical issue. And I don't think a lot of people, parents, realize how everything that they do affects their children so very greatly. And while we want to be good parents, you have to think about it holistically. Like, I don't feel like when people talk about BMI, I don't feel like they're looking at it from a holistic approach. Because while BMI is not like the only indicator of health, you have to take into other things, but it's a good measurement, a good tool to use, some kind of concrete, quantitative measure that people can institute to say this person could possibly have risks of some health issues. It's possible. But people can live in Delululand if they want to continue living there. I have escaped the shackles of Delululand, and I wish everyone else would too. But I do want to end this video with me agreeing with some things from Alexandra Rodriguez. I feel like it was good that she got the opportunity to find a health practitioner that did not have this policy and that she vibed with. I think it's a very good thing to vibe with your health care provider. Somebody that is going to explain things to you thoroughly, that's going to answer your questions, that's not going to have an attitude with you, that's not going to look at you like you're crazy if you're asking certain questions, that's going to have patience with you, that's going to have some kind of empathy or compassion or whatever when you're going through something, that's going to understand things and talk to you about things. So yeah, I totally agree with that. You should have a you should have a caring, professional that wants to see you in the greatest health. And with that being said, your healthcare professional should not live in Delululand with you. Yes, they should say, hey, BMI is not the only factor, but it is something that we can concretely measure and that you may possibly be at health risks because of your weight. That is not saying that it's guaranteed that you will have any health risks, but I must warn you, as you do get older and your body becomes under stress through instances such as pregnancy, that you could have certain health consequences. We want to continue with you trying to have a healthy diet, with you engaging in physical activity and things like that, so that you can possibly lose weight to reduce those risks. That's the kind of conversation that your healthcare provider should have with you. But fat people that live in Delululand think this is weight shaming. They think this is being fat phobic. And I don't like it. And I know that it's a hard pill to swallow, that someone tells you that you're putting yourself and your life at risks. I get it. But it's hard conversations that healthcare professionals should have with you. Because the moment that something happens, people are so quick to say, oh, but my doctor never told me. Oh, no one informed me. Why didn't someone try to help me? They just want to give me these pills. They just want to medicate me. They're trying to tell you the root cause of the issue, but you're literally doing nothing to resolve that. And I really do wish Alexandra Rodriguez the best with her health and her pregnancy. And this is not a bash Alexandra Rodriguez video. This is only like the second video I've done about her. But I wanted to speak about this because I have been obese and pregnant. And I have been obese literally all my life. This is actually the first time like I've been a normal size, and I'm still in the overweight category BMI, but your girl is working on that, okay? Just give me about like 15 more pounds. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up.